What is up, everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of the ThePauseMenu podcast. This is a new monthly series where me and my good buddy Kyril sit back, talk about games, talk about life, and anything else that's been on our minds. So grab a drink, get comfy, and let's hit pause. How's it going, dude?
Dude, it's going good. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm trying to brave out this crazy winter storm that we're having over here in the States.
Yeah, heard about that. I mean, at least over here, I haven't seen snow in quite a while, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I guess we can start off, right, with who we are and sort of like what this podcast actually is. I am Kyril Drifter. I make sort of, cool, chill sort of content on the internet. I sort of actually started making the videos that I do because I felt like there was a sort of a gap in the content that I wanted to see. So
Yeah,
I started to think,
absolutely.
hey, I'll start creating content that I genuinely want to see from YouTube. And it was cool because I found your channel right along the time I started creating my content. And it gave me a lot of encouragement and made me feel like, okay, maybe this niche isn't as small as I thought.
Yeah, that's been a crazy thing to see too. It kind of like, I kind of hit the same wall where I was like, I'm seeing a lot of just kind of disingenuine content out there that I don't like seeing. A lot of just very, reactionary and angry content in the industry or super hype. And I kind of wanted just to counteract that. And it seems like there's been quite a few channels popping up that have kind of harkened back to that old style of YouTube commentary. And I love to see it so much. I really do.
Yeah, it's totally awesome because back in the day, people would just kind of show off stuff that they liked, the games that they were playing right now. And now everything seems like a little bit hyperbolic. It's just why you need to do this, why you need to do
or
that.
Like, what's next? What's the next big thing? What's the next big thing I can get mad about?
Exactly.
Et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, that's kind of what inspired me to start my channel too, was just like missing that old school era where it was just people kind of showing off what they care about, talking about the things that excite them, talking about the things that they're passionate about and want to see more of. Like that's what really inspired me, is kind of going back to some of those old commentaries of people just playing the games and talking about what they wanted to talk about.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I think I've got a lot in my mind all the time. So I thought, hey, I can use this niche that I kind of want to use as a segue into talk about the things that I care about, but also use this as an opportunity to maybe clear my head a little bit. And the things that I'm thinking are probably, not all that far out there. I bet a lot of people are thinking the same stuff that I am. So if I can use this way to discuss and talk to people and show off something cool in the process, I thought that was the coolest thing.
Oh yeah, the community aspect of it has just been really awesome. And you made a cool point, I think, in one of your last videos that I was watching, about how you originally like wanted your channel to be almost like your like video like journal, so you can like look back and see all the things that you've done and see all the things that you've played. And I really liked that take on it too, because that's kind of what's been in my head with it too, is to look back through these different seasons of my life and to be able to have this big catalog of content where I'm like, oh, this is what I was doing then, and this is what I was excited about, and this is what I got in this stage of my life.
Especially because so totally, I started off and I wanted it to be like a video game sort of like time capsule.
Nice. I love that.
Not just for video games as well, but just like see where my head was at during a certain point of my life. And I can point my finger and be like, okay, in January 2026 I was playing Resident Evil 1 and 2, and I can totally, when I see those games, I will 100% think about where I was in that time of life. And if you have the the notes, the details to pull it up and see yourself in that space at that time, it's super powerful, right?
It
now
really
that we
is.
have this technology to see that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and I think you hit a good point there. I think that's kind of what spilled over into me making content in the first place, was when I started kind of keeping my own journal on my games, on my thoughts, on my day-to-day, and it kind of just spilled out into me being a little more creative with my words and my ideas and wanting to kind of voice those and get those out there, and like treating treating the channel as almost like a time capsule, like you said, is just that's such a cool thing. I really just love that way of phrasing it, because already I can look back to 4 months ago when I really started, getting more serious about making content and be like, man, I was at such a different time and place than I was even just now, 4 months later, which seems like such a small chunk of time, but so much can happen.
Yeah. I also like your channel and my channel and the people that we sort of engage with on a day-to-day basis, I think do this pretty well, but our channels are pretty much a reflection of ourselves. I feel like YouTube sometimes, especially in modern day, people have made their channels to mimic that of like a production studio or something, right? And YouTube used to be YouTube broadcast yourself. And my channel, totally, I feel like I can see where my head was at, just a few months ago. And 100%, I'm not going to be thinking or feeling the same way about every single thing. So I think it is a cool way to sort of see where you are at a point of time and what you are enjoying then, and just really be almost like a video journal, sort of stream of consciousness.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, I could not agree more. And I think that's just, it's so cool to see that again, because I remember a lot of the channels I used to follow back in the day. That was kind of their thing. It was like a mixture of gaming and life and just what they were doing. And like you said, it was like YouTube, broadcast yourself. And I think with content getting so big and so algorithmic, it's natural that a lot of these channels start to become a team. It's a team of people. It's the editor. It's the, audio person. It's like, it's a big group of people. It's the guy who makes the thumbnails. And as much as when you're appealing to a really large audience as that can help, I think that it really takes away some of the personality. And I think that's what I've been missing from YouTube, is like, you'd go to a channel and it's like, this is them.
Yeah.
Like, this is, like you said, a reflection of this person, a reflection of what they're going through, a reflection of what they love. And I really want to get back to that, where like, the channel is like just an extension of you and just your interests,
Yeah, because Strider 27 is just you and Chiral Drifter is just me, so it is, our channels are 100% just us, like thumbnails created by us, the audio recorded, edited, it's all by real people,
Yeah. And to be honest, as much as it's like a reflection of us, I don't know if you're this way too, but I also make the videos for me too. There's a lot of things where it's like, do as I say, not as I do, because I sometimes need to hear my own advice, because I don't always take it. And I'll look back when I'm editing some scripts and I'm like, man, this guy has some good points. I really need to take some of these into account.
Totally.
And I think like putting it out there really makes it easier for you to go like, oh yeah, like this is what I'm going to do. I'm putting this out there. I'm going out on a limb and I'm going to start treating this more intentionally. I'm going to start thinking about why I'm playing a little deeper and etc.
Yeah. I also, this is kind of going off a little bit, but
go for it.
I got into Stoicism a little bit in the last few years, and I know that a lot of people will take a look at what the Stoics had said and written, and they think, oh, these guys had it all together. When in reality, they were actually just writing for themselves, though. Like a lot of the times, the stuff that they were saying.
Yeah, amazing point.
Yeah. There. So the same thing with me and my videos and you and your videos. I'm not saying to do something because I feel like I've got it all figured out or I'm better than you, and that's not the case in any way, shape, or form. It's I'm saying maybe what my personal struggles are at that time, and I want to just talk about it, write about it, and get it out of my head, because if it stays in my head, then it doesn't go anywhere. It just sort of sits there.
So true. And I have so true. And I think that's been what these channels have been all about too, is just getting that out there and putting words to these thoughts that we have. And I think for me too, like it really has helped me, approach gaming in a way I haven't approached in a really long time. And I have been remembering more experiences. They've been affecting me a lot deeper than they have in a few years. It's just like, it goes back to that whole just approaching it a little more intentionally.
Yeah. And I think what's super cool is that, you replay a lot of games, right? You play Skyrim a lot, and you've played it many, many times.
Yeah, kind of half and half.
Yeah, so you have new experiences, but also have your cozy games that you go back to and gravitate towards. And I think that's really awesome because you can play, the games that are replayable, they're going to hit different each and every time because of where you are in life.
Oh yeah.
And like how, I was going through a tough time earlier in 2025, and I played Death Stranding, and I know if I played that game now, it would be something different, but it truly is something special because of what it was and what it meant to me at that time.
Yeah. What's kind of funny is we kind of both, I think, had similar experiences with our first times playing Death Stranding, because I too had kind of a rough 2025, and Death Stranding is one of the first games I played where that story like really like deeply affected me. And I think if I would have played it like a year before or a year later, like you said, I don't think I would have given it the like time and attention that it deserved. But because I did, gosh, that was one of the most like fulfilling game experiences I've ever had.
Totally. Because me too, I actually tried to play Death Stranding, I think, like you said, a year or two earlier, and
me too.
It would not stick with me. I thought like,
nope.
Oh, this is a walking simulator. This is
I was
boring.
like, what am I, like Amazon delivery driver without a car?
Because I think back then I was, playing like Apex Legends and like Warzone.
Yep.
It was just not the thing for me. But as I grew up a little bit, matured, and experienced different things in life, it finally hit me at a time where I thought, dang, this is exactly how I feel right now. I can relate to Sam so much, and the world was so hauntingly beautiful.
Yeah.
That everything just hit.
Yeah, and that whole underlying idea of, despite how like miserable and lonely and isolating and terrifying the world of Death Stranding is, you do everything you can to connect people and form a connection and form that, and that's such a really impactful idea when you really give it the time to breathe.
And I don't want to, this is not the Death Stranding podcast, but I do want to talk a little bit more about it, because Sam is kind of like a guy who doesn't want to be around people. He thinks that he can do everything alone, and he just wants to brush everybody off. But in the end, he meets so many people, and he doesn't realize how much he actually needed them. And I think that's the most beautiful thing, is that Sam, meanwhile, he has a pretty crazy family, right? It's a Kojima story, so it's a little wild.
Yep, so it's all over the place.
But
has a little bit of everything.
Through that, he discovers his own like created family, and he's able to call these people his best friends. And I think that's super awesome, like going through the end of the world together and being able to form these bonds, and just these probably these friendships that wouldn't have became, but they did, and it's just super cool.
Yeah, and I think that's actually a really good bridge into funny bridge. We got Sam Bridges over here. But it's something I realized with YouTube is I didn't realize how important and how cool building a community would be. And I think like that has been my favorite part about the experience of YouTube, is meeting really cool people, meeting people like you and XP and Gummy and all these really, really cool, passionate people who like, it's really good to be around a group of people who are excited and loving games again. And it's just really good to be around that kind of atmosphere. And I think it's really changed my perspective of, we have so many people from so many walks of life who are just talking about these really cool things that they love. And I can't tell you how important and how impactful like being a part and building a community has been. And it's something I don't think I really even had in my mind going into YouTube,
Yeah, I think because when you first create a channel, it's not really community focused, right? It's like, okay, this is your channel. What do you want to do? It almost feels like an independent like sport, or like, I don't know, like wrestling. It's like you're not going to wrestle for your team, even though you kind of do, but you don't.
Yeah, that's true.
That's something that I was always sort of like jealous about other people about, is that when people played games like World of Warcraft or other like MMOs, I didn't really play anything like that, but I know they had like a wide variety of like groups and communities and friends online. And honestly, me being I don't live in the United States, and a lot of the people that I have been friends with in the past, I'm not super close with them anymore. So creating and finding and curating a community like this full of people who can experience the same thing but come to a completely different conclusion is just so cool.
It really is. Yeah, I think that's been one of the most just really cool and eye-opening things that has kind of just happened. And like I said, it's really interesting and cool that that comes about like when you don't even really plan to.
Yeah, and just I don't know, just like you said, being in the community and just creating a community from the ground up and finding people who are just passionate about way different topics, but people who
Yeah.
are still there to listen nonetheless, and maybe just be an ear for somebody. It's just been
Yeah.
super cool, and I really really appreciate like everybody from your community, my
Yeah.
community, and all in between.
Yeah. I think that's been another thing that's kind of cool too is since we especially both of us have like such similar approaches to how we just navigate life and how we navigate
Yeah.
games. It's been really cool how we almost have this kind of like bridge between the communities too and kind of all
Yeah.
hold each other up and this like community of creators that is like really cool and really unique, and I love to see it because like once again it throws back to that old era of YouTube where I'd see people meet up and collaborate and hang out and chat, and it was like just seeing good buddies meet up and talk about things, and I love getting back to that.
I started my channel, like I said, we talked about it a little bit earlier, was like the main focus was to be a time capsule for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of got back to that recently. I
Yeah.
guess that'd be cool segue into, the content that we're making right now, because I have made some pretty banger videos that like have, like popped off and done well. But I think like my last two videos, I've kind of just sat down and just talked about the things I'm enjoying, the things that I'm doing right now, kind of like this podcast, and just
Yeah.
like talking like to a buddy on a Friday night. It's like you
Yeah,
and a
dude.
friend, we're talking about games, life, and
Mm-hmm.
that's like my favorite part about old school YouTube and trying to get back
Yeah.
to it. So I do like making the sit down scripted content because
Mm-hmm.
I do have a lot of thoughts and things that pop up into my head, and when I can write them
Yeah.
down and then create a video about it, it feels super polished. But
Yep.
a lot of the times my thoughts don't feel super polished. So this is a good way
Yep.
for me to sort of use it as a way to speak about them.
Yeah, I think that's a good point too, because I'm kind of the same way, and I'm gonna be honest. Your like Cairo's Corner videos have really inspired me too to also just like make more free flowing ideas, free flowing content, and that's kind of I started my channel with that too. Like that first video I really made, besides the Oblivion one, was pretty just like I sat down on my in my gaming chair after work and I just like riffed on
Hmm.
Restartitis. And I'm kind of just trying to get back to that because like you said, like I do like making those scripted polished videos. I feel proud of those. I'm like, okay, that was good, that's tight, I like the pacing, the editing, it's good.
Yep.
But I don't always want to make that. And I think some of the most fulfilling stuff, and the most fulfilling stuff that I consume and watch on YouTube too, is stuff that's very stream of consciousness and very honest and very from the heart. And I think, like you said too, that's why I was so excited when you came to me with this idea of like starting this podcast where we can just get our thoughts out and just yap and talk about life and games and be passionate about the stuff we're passionate about. Because I love that. That's one of my favorite things is to see people just get passionate about the things they love.
Yeah, going back to just also YouTube not being this super high quality production level content
Yeah.
too. Like when you sit down and you're just talking with a buddy, you're not going to like splice it up and edit it. Like you're not
Yeah.
gonna say everything in a perfect way.
No, yeah,
And
that's not how things work.
My Cairo's Corner videos are very much like that. And I was kind of rewatching it and I was like, I just did that right there. I say like a lot sometimes, and I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, I just said that how many times? But at the end of the day, I'm just like you said, I'm just riffing and I'm just talking about the things that I like what's on my mind, and it's not going to be perfect. It's just
Yeah.
like we're just having a conversation. And I think that is just super organic because, you know, we're not we're not MTV out here where
No.
we're just Cartwheel Drifter and Strider 27, you know?
Yeah, and I think what I've seen through my channel, and I think you have too, is that surprisingly, and this surprised me, is there's a lot of people who are craving that again. I think living in an era of really short content, really tightly edited, tightly paced stuff, I think there is a want for people to be authentic again and be themselves. And, I think I see a lot of that popping up. Like now, because of the content I've been making and watching, my timeline is like just littered with really, really great, insightful videos. And I've loved to see it because that's not how my timeline looked 5 months ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is it's a good problem to have. I found a
Yeah.
lot of cool people from that sort of issue. But at the end of the
Yeah.
day, I would like to encourage people to create their own stuff too. I think it
Yes.
can be kind of concerning if you're just consuming content, which is
Yes. Yes.
fine. Like you can consume content, especially if it's, it's good stuff. But I would definitely say don't lose your own thoughts. Don't
Yes. Yes.
totally inherit somebody else's beliefs, because I think it's important to share your own thoughts and beliefs on anything, really. Like I'm playing video games and we both play video games, but like we talk about it and we get in depth. Like we
Mm-hmm.
totally get to the, we're picking up books, we're reading the lore, we are
Yeah.
totally immersing ourselves in a world and we're talking about it. And I think that's
Yeah.
really, really awesome.
Yeah. And despite all that, especially like me and you have in common, like with our approach to things and things like that, it's those differences that make us interesting. I
Yeah.
think it's those parts that make really cool ideas form and really unique ideas form. And I think, like, going back to what you said, like that's why, like, one of my favorite videos of yours is the one just encouraging people to just create, just make
Yeah.
something. And I am a big, you know, supporter of that too, because I have been a lifelong musician and I make music, and I can't tell you how much just having something creative has helped me mentally throughout my entire life. And I think that just being able to exercise your creativity is it's one of the best things you can do for your own mental health. I really do believe that.
Yeah, and I think I started to become more creative when I let myself be bored more.
Yes. Yes. Great point.
I think we are so overstimulated all the
Mm-hmm.
time. If, like, in the morning, don't pick up your phone like right away,
Yes.
right? Maybe
Yes.
get up, do the things you need to do. If you maybe you get up a little bit extra early so you can make a coffee, sit down, and just be with your thoughts. Like, what are you
Yep.
thinking about right then and there? Because that is
Yeah.
when my brain is 100% primed and ready to go, because nothing has come into my day yet.
Yep.
That's my most peaceful, most zen moment
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah, definitely. I am exactly the same way. Like just waking up, having that coffee. I like to get out like my journal and jot down some ideas, or I'll even like just I'll even pick up like a little book and read a few paragraphs. Like just
Yeah,
doing something to just, get your mind active without, falling into that scroll. Like I'm the same way. Like once I kind of started not reaching for that phone first thing in the morning, it really, really made my mornings just one of my favorite times of the day.
totally. And it goes to your last video super well too, tying it together with just putting down the phone, like being immersed
Yep.
in the one thing that you're doing right then and there.
Yep.
I think also, like, going back to starting your morning with like looking at your phone, if you start the morning off with this high paced, like, and it's making your brain work, the
Yeah.
dopamine's flaring up in your brain, like everything else is going to seem lesser than that.
Yes. Yeah. Great point. Yeah.
How about we talk about some of the games that we're actually playing right now?
Yeah. Let's do it. So what have you been playing?
So I've been playing the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster. That's 1 through 6. It's a lot of games, a lot of
That's really
content
cool.
in there. I am almost done with the first game, but admittedly, I did pre-order Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate. Such a long name for the game, but for the Switch too, and it just came out like 2 days ago. But I ordered
Fun.
the physical edition, so it's not
Nice.
here yet. But I am super
Nice.
excited to play that.
Mm-hmm.
And I also just picked up um, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment today, which is
Oh,
like the
cool.
Dynasty Warriors, like
Yeah.
the Hyrule Warriors. They've had one game before this, but super cool. It's like the Tears of the Kingdom characters in it, and just hack and slash and like hundreds of thousands of enemies, and just
Fun.
I don't know, just mindless fun, like playing
Yeah,
your
dude.
bed and then just yeah. What about
That
you?
sounds fun. Well, kind of piggybacking off of that too, I've kind of started to have that desire of going back to more physical based things too. So I have the PS5 Slim disk drive that I actually got on pretty good price. I got it for $55 on sale.
Nice.
So I'm gonna start my own collection again too. It's been a few years since I think the last big collection I had was on the PS4. And then I got the Xbox Series S and then now the PS5 Slim. So I've kind of, drifted more towards digital, and I've just realized you know, I've missed the tangible side of games, and I want to get back to that. So I actually have on the way, I have The Last of Us Part 1, the disc version, and I got God of War Ragnarok. So those are the first two starting out the
Nice.
collection.
Those are two solid pickups though to start
Yes,
your
sir.
collection.
Yep.
I think the market kind of trends one way, but people have sort of been pulling it backwards a bit
Yep.
because it's so easy to get wrapped up in unlimited content when you don't have
Yes.
something physical right in front of you, and you just appreciate it more. Like when I received gifts on Christmas Day from my wife, like
Yeah.
I actually have a physical cartridge. Like I got some games from her for Christmas, and now every time I look at that freaking box, I think of
Hmm.
the time that my wife gave it to me for Christmas. And
Yeah.
you don't
Exactly.
really think that. You don't think back to the day you bought a digital game on your
Yeah.
PlayStation,
The day that it popped up into your library.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The day it took
That's so
6 hours
true.
to download.
Yep. Yeah, and I think kind of what, spurred me into doing that is I've kind of been back and forth about it, because that's why I've made some videos on the backlog, is because I started stressing about, like, what do I play next? Like, all this kind of stuff, because I had this huge wall of just these icons. And
Yep.
my little brother has recently started his own, like, CD collection. He's been going to, like, thrift stores and stuff, and I've kind of been helping him curate his own little CD collection. And that
Nice.
was like the final, like, okay, I'm ready to get back into that, because I've always been like, I've collected records for many, many years and done all that stuff, and I used to love picking up the physical games, and all my PS4 games were all physical. Like, I think I bought my first digital game like just like 2 or 3 years ago. It wasn't very long ago, and I didn't realize how much I missed that until, like I said, I kind of helped my little brother start his own CD collection. I'm like, oh, I miss having the thing. It's the same reason I've always been a, like, book reader, and I've never had like a Kindle. Like, I love a book.
Yeah. I cannot use an e-reader to save my life because
Yep.
I get so distracted. But
Yeah.
I also love just not just for video games but books as well, like the romanticism of holding said
Yeah.
thing and the smell of the pages or the new box of like a game.
Yeah.
You,
Interacting with it. Yeah.
yeah.
It's more than just clicking X. Like,
Yeah, it
in
was driving to GameStop. It was,
yeah.
going into my pocket, seeing how far I could stretch my my money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
all
I
of
think
that.
it kind of goes back to, like, making gaming like an event again, and kind of what we both talked about, of like the importance of curating your space the way you want, having a cozy space for after work, having it ready, and having these games, going to pick them up or having them arrive. Like you said, it kind of goes back to that, like, Christmas Day feeling of like,
Yeah.
oh, I got a package and I can open it, and it brings a little bit of that excitement back, and I think like that really really helps me with just like we always talk about being a little more intentional in my choices and things like that. I feel like I jump around less because it's like I chose to pull this out. I chose to put it in the console and I chose to boot it up, and I think I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just placebo or something random, but I really do feel like playing the actual physical edition of something, I get way less distracted with it because it feels like I made this choice rather than, like I said, just pop in the library and just click an X.
Right. Especially because we've seen this before, and I think you sort of touched on it. But going to your library and you can let the cursor scroll down for quite a long time. But
yeah,
when you actually have the physical box and the disc in front of you, the cartridge in front of you, you have to legitimately get up, make a conscious decision, take a look at the box art, and you remember hey, this game, where am I at in this game? Or what do I want to get out of this game? Have I started this game? Or I don't know, but you have to get it. You have to get out the game, bring it to your system, and then put it in, and then make that conscious decision. You hear the CD, the DVD hum.
Yeah.
You hear it, sort of read it, and then you're in it. You're in that moment. It's special. It's not just like I'm gonna open this game and then oh, I didn't want to play this, and then you just close it and you open the next one.
And I'll play something else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I feel the same exact way, and I'm so excited to get back into it. And actually, kind of going back to what we've been playing a little bit, I have been playing a little bit of Skyrim back on the Switch Lite again too.
Nice.
And that was another thing that kind of prompted me to go back to it, because you get the little cartridge out, you put it in the Switch, and you boot up Skyrim, and it's just you got this whole massive world just in the palm of your hands, and it's so cool.
I know it might sound a little funny too, but when you put in the cartridge, it makes a little noise, how, not just the physical noise, that's super cool for my brain stimulation, but also
you're ooh, nice.
Yeah, the UI will populate oh, you put a cartridge in. That's cool. And it just adds to the immersion. It
really does. Yeah.
The thing. The ritual.
Yeah, and it makes it makes an event and makes it an experience rather than just I think it's the difference between passive and active engagement with something. You have to really be active with it, even though it's just seems like a few small little choices. They really add up to make it feel more of something tangible,
Yeah. And I also think there's something special about the things that you own. You can see them. You can physically, they're tangible. You can touch them.
Yeah, they occupy some space.
Yeah, real space. And it's so easy to forget about things that don't occupy a physical space.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Which is why backlogs just pile up so much.
Yeah. Yep, I definitely agree. I 100% agree with that, and that's I can't wait to hop back on that train.
Yeah, also you own those things too, you're going to own The Last of Us Part 1. You're going to own Ragnarok.
you lose your account and you can still play it, or it gets delisted and you still have it,
You could bring the game over a buddy's house.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's an important thing to keep in mind too, with just how digital things are going to, is things probably won't happen, but you never know what could happen.
Yeah, the other day was funny. I had a buddy over the house and I was like, do you want to borrow my copy of this PlayStation 5 game? But then he was like, oh, I don't have a disc drive. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, do you remember trading? Did you ever used to trade your games with your buddies too?
To be honest, I would I would lend my games, but forever I've just felt this is my game, this is mine.
I feel that.
Shinies, Gollum.
We used to trade for the weekends. I remember I traded I can't remember what it was. I think I traded Skate 3 for my friend's copy of GTA 5 for the weekend, and that was my first experience of GTA 5, and I went out and got it the next day. But I just remember trading that with it. And then one time I forget what game it was, but I did trade my buddy one game, and he ended up breaking it, and I was really sad about that. It was like a game on the
No.
PS2. I forget what it was.
No way. What stuck out to me there was that you just said you traded Skate 3 for GTA 5. GTA
Yep.
5 has been out for so long, man, on the
I
PS3.
know. I know. And that's what I traded him. I traded him my PS3 copy of Skate 3 for GTA 5.
But both
Yeah,
those
it's
games
crazy.
are awesome though.
Yep.
Skate
Awesome
3.
games. I have so many hours in Skate 3. Friends would come over and we'd just play it. Oh, great times.
That's so cool. Another thing about physical stuff, I literally have my PlayStation 5 box still, like the
Me
one
too.
that I got it. It's right here on the shelf.
Yep.
And my wife is like, "You got to get rid of some of these boxes." And I'm like, "I don't know why I'm keeping them, but they have like a sentimental value to me."
Yeah. Not only for me do they have sentimental value, but I've done a lot of like moving around in my life, and
Yeah.
I've realized how important keeping a box can be sometimes. Because I still have that box and like the foam that like held it
Yeah,
in
yeah,
case I
yeah.
need to, in case I want to take it somewhere, in case I want to, travel with it, whatever.
Yeah, because that like little, the cardboard or whatever inside, like
Hmm.
it fits the system perfectly, so it won't move around or anything.
Yep, exactly.
And it's pretty cool. Like my PS5 box has the God of War Ragnarok. It has Kratos and
Oh,
Atreus
cool.
on it, so it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, I just got the base digital one, and I actually got it from a friend too. I got it for pretty cheap. I got it for like just around $200 because he bought a Pro and was getting rid of it. And when I moved, he was like, "What do you want to? You want this one?"
That's
So
cool.
that was really cool.
I can't believe like the Switch Lite. I just saw it today. It's like still $230. I'm like,
Yeah,
they should probably drop
yeah,
the price on that if you
right.
want people to get more involved with your stuff.
Yeah, that's been the only Nintendo console I've had since the Wii has been this Switch Lite.
Man, the Wii was such a good console,
Wasn't it though? Yeah.
man.
I saw something that like it was if you want to feel old again, I saw some of the games that are turning 20 this year, and one of them is Wii Sports.
That's crazy.
I was like, "Oh,
There
right
was
right in the heart."
I have a user in my Discord named Vixtendo. She made a video about she went to like a National Museum of History and apparently the Wii was in the retro section.
Oh my gosh. Ouch.
It's crazy, right?
That is
What the
crazy.
heck?
To be fair though, that should be in a museum. That was an iconic console.
It
That was the
was.
first console I could get my grandparents to play. You know what I mean? Like everybody played the Wii.
Do you remember like the Wii Fit and stuff like that?
Oh yeah. Gosh, a funny story about the Wii. I actually had the really, really crappy Tony Hawk game that came with the skateboard with the sensors on the side.
Yeah,
And you had to
that's
like
cool.
kick the carpet and like do like you'd have to like pop it, but not too hard because it would just like snap in half if you
Oh
did
my
it too
gosh.
hard. Oh, man.
What I do give Nintendo credit for, depending on whatever marketing schemes and stuff that they're doing this day, they've
Yeah.
always innovated so hard,
Yeah.
you know?
And it's hard to make a gimmick work, and they have. They've made
Yeah.
a lot of their gimmicks work, like people tried for like think about like the Kinect and like things like that. Like people tried a lot to make kind of like motion based gaming something, and they did it. They did it with the Wii.
Yeah, they've always there's always these ebbs and flows with the market. Like when the Wii created that whole motion control everything, and then Xbox
Yeah.
was like, "We're gonna do the Xbox Connect," and then PlayStation was like, "We have the PlayStation Move," and it's like,
Oh, I forgot about that. I don't
like the
think I
little
ever had
wand
that.
thing. Yeah,
Oh man,
but Nintendo's always made such cool stuff. And then
they really
what I
have,
do
yeah.
appreciate about Nintendo today is that they still have a very large appreciation for co-op gaming.
True, yeah.
Like a lot of the stuff that I play, and maybe it doesn't look the same anymore, but they also do this thing called game share. And if I have a game, I can actually share it with your console as well. So like
That's
your
cool.
Switch console. It's not every game, but like it's still pretty cool that you could play a game that I have.
Yeah, that's super cool. That's something I definitely really miss. I remember when Halo what is it? Halo Infinite? Is that the latest one that came out when
Yeah.
they released it and they announced we're not going to have split screen co-op for the campaign and we're not going to have co-op for the campaign for like at least a few months, and everybody was like, "What? Like what do you mean? This is Halo."
Yeah, Halo
And it's like,
created a bunch of cool
yeah,
stuff.
that was like, I think Halo was my first experience to co-op gaming besides like having the Game Boy Advance and like plugging your advances together to like trade Pokemon and stuff, because I did that with like my cousins, like playing Pokemon Emerald. But I have this distinct memory of being like, gosh, I must have been like 7 or 8 years old, and I went to one of my friends' like birthday parties in elementary school, and we went down to the basement and they were playing 4-player split screen like Halo 2 co-op with all 4 controllers like plugged into the Xbox and everything, and
Yeah.
I was so blown away. I was like, we can all play this
Yeah.
together, and everybody was yelling like, don't peek at my screen and all
I remember like
that.
people would legit like put like a cardboard piece
You
in the
got
middle
to,
of
man.
their screen or something. And like it's such a good time though. So like when it just felt so genuine,
Man, so
like
funny.
gaming.
It was.
I do think a good topic that we can maybe talk about is the never-ending choice of games. And I know we kind of
Yes.
talked a little bit about how it's so easy to choose a digital game off your system, but
Mm-hmm.
the backlog continues to grow and new games continue to release like monthly. More than that, right?
Yes. More than that now, yeah.
I think Steam's running total for like games is like 300,000 or something. Or I think they just added that.
Wow.
I don't know actually, but they've added so many games in the last year, and
Yeah.
continuously new games come out, and admittedly they are all competing for your attention too. They want you to play
Yes.
their game. And it's hard because we only have a certain amount of time throughout the day, and things
Mm-hmm.
continue and continue to, surface. And these games are
Yeah.
super cool and I love it, and I'm like, "Ooh, shiny, I need to play this new game."
Yeah.
I think a good way to circumvent that, or at least just deal with it better, is just getting more into the game itself. I think being
Yes.
able to not only, okay, we did talk about the physical media aspect part. That part is
Mm-hmm.
important to
Yeah,
me,
and how that can help. Yeah.
but I also think just playing a game not for the sake of getting all of its trophies or anything like that, or
Yes.
but playing the
Yes.
game because you want to live inside of that game. You want to be
Yes.
you want to be a part of that world. And I think when you
Yep.
genuinely appreciate the game for what it is and you don't treat it as another thing to complete, then that is when gaming kind of returns back to its roots, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a really good point too. And I think I kind of like self-impose my own rule before like buying anything new. And it's try to at least like you said, I don't have to like complete it. I don't have to 100% it. I don't have to do all that. But just really giving it my time, and until I'm like I've reached that point where I'm like, okay, I'm happy with this, and that could be finishing it, that could be getting a good chunk of it done. And I try to really like limit what the next thing is going to be, because a lot of times that excitement is still there even when I wait. So I tried to like wait for that new thing, and I try to be a little more just intentional with what I buy. Like I try to limit myself to buying things I know I'm gonna play now, because that's not something I've always done. It's hard sometimes when there's like, ooh, this game's like four ninety
Yeah.
nine. I might as well pick it up. And then I'll think, listen, Black Friday comes every year. This is gonna be 4.99 again. Am I gonna play it? And if the answer is like probably not yet, then I wait. I wait a little bit. And that's been a big thing that's helped me with like those type of games just piling up.
Yeah. I also did pick up a PlayStation 2 last year,
That's so cool.
and so I didn't have a PlayStation 2 growing up. My friends
That was my console.
my friend did have a PlayStation 2. I had an
Mm-hmm.
Xbox original actually.
Nice.
But there's a lot of games that I picked up a decent and pretty hefty collection of about like 8 games I think I have, and to me that also really helped me sort of disconnect with everything that's just modern day gaming, and sort of like sometimes it's hard to fully immerse yourself because you boot up PlayStation 5 or your Switch 2 and you're already getting bombarded with ads and things for other games that like you weren't really thinking about. You wanted to get on the game so that you can play, your game. And I think that's super cool about the PlayStation 3, the PlayStation 2, because at least the PlayStation 2, whenever you turn it on and there's a game inside, it just boots up to the game.
Yeah.
So I think there's
exactly
really cool that friction, it's very frictionless, and it's just about the game.
One thing I did with, speaking about the PlayStation 5, with the new kind of like welcome hub that they did, I got rid of everything but 3 things on that welcome hub. And that's the friends that are online, the storage on my console, the battery of the controller, and my own like screenshots. That's all that's there.
Yeah.
There's no ads. I got rid of like the store page. I got rid of all of that because I agree. I hated like booting up my console and it's like, here's the sales, here's the new thing, here's the stories of the updates of the games you follow. And I'm like, this is too much, man. I just want to play a game.
Yeah. It's like having the console, or it's very akin to like apps that we have on our phone. Like just having the thing isn't enough. They want you to see something else on top of it. It's like, like I'm already on your console, man. I just want to play the dang game.
I bought this. And I actually recently went back and booted up my Series S to like play some old, like I use my Series S kind of as my retro box. I have like a bunch of like backwards compatibility Xbox 360 games, like, all of those on it. And they had a baked beans ad in the corner.
What?
Like just an ad for beans.
For a second, I thought you were like gonna say that you spilled baked beans on your Series S.
No. No, but like they had an actual like ad in the bottom corner of the screen that you like can't remove, just for like something random. And that was new.
I've heard like, I don't think we're that far off from this, but about advertisements potentially coming into games, that would be my god. No, that's a horror story in and of itself. But
that absolutely is. I've heard that with some of the like lower tier like streaming service plans that might be on the horizon. Is like the lowest tier will like you can play like an hour if you watch like a certain set of ads.
No
and
shot.
That's a yikes.
I could see that
moment for
rolling
me.
out to maybe like free to play games first,
Yeah.
What they always say is that, if something is free, then you are the product. So you gotta watch out for that.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it too. And I think that's kind of why I tend to steer clear from a lot of free to play right now, because it's kind of rough. Like there's just a lot of things that are like how they have to monetize it is just not something I love.
Yeah. Also, the Series S is an awesome machine. Like, I think we talked about this before, but the Series S was my gateway into next-gen consoles, actually.
Yep, mine too. Yeah. I couldn't get the PS5 around 2020 because they were just completely sold out everywhere. So I ended up picking up a Series S. And yeah, exactly. That was my gateway and introduction into this current gen.
Yeah, I actually beat Elden Ring on the Series S.
I did too. That's really funny.
That's
I beat
cool.
Elden Ring on it, and I actually 100%ed it on the Xbox. And then I got the DLC. I got Shadow of the Erdtree when I got the PS5, and it was one of the first things I went and did.
Dude, the only achievement I didn't get on Xbox was the legendary armaments one, because I didn't know where the Bolt of Grand Sax was, like on top of it, the weird spot where you have to like go up the, I don't even know. It's
like the wing.
Yeah. Oh man. Sorry. That just made me annoyed for a second about that. Just
great game though.
Yeah. Oh man. Probably my favorite all time. Do you want to get into the comments and
So yeah, definitely something we want to do for those of you stuck around thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for listening. This has been super fun. I'm super excited to do this. This will be our kind of monthly series, but we'd love to hear some of your comments and questions about future topics, things you want answered, just anything. Like, we'd love to hear about it.
Yeah. Also, I'd like to know what you guys are playing as well. What are you guys currently playing now? What systems are you playing on? And totally, we want to hear what questions you guys might have for us, because not only do we want this podcast to be just me and Strider chopping it up, but like also genuinely curious about what you guys want to see and hear from us.
Yes, definitely. And to kind of kick those off, we actually have a question here from our good buddy XP Legacy. And he has asked us, if we were stranded on a desert island, what franchise would you take with you?
You want to start? You want to start it off?
Ooh, yeah. There's a lot there, man. You're putting me on the spot. I think we talked about too how like Final Fantasy, you'd have like 40 games if you brought Final Fantasy. But I don't know, man. If I had one series I could play like over and over and over again. That's hard because I have ones that are like, I really love like 2 of the entries.
Yeah.
But like not all of them,
Oh, honestly, I might go with the Zelda games. There are just so many like different variety. Like right now I'm also playing you have games like Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, but you also have Link's Awakening. You have the Hyrule Warriors that I discussed earlier. They're like games in games,
Yeah.
And so I think I might go with the Zelda and the franchise there.
Yeah. I would bring Guitar Hero.
Oh.
just Guitar Hero. Guitar Hero or like Skate.
Yeah.
Those would be fun. Because I'm trying to think of what I could get like longevity out of,
Yeah.
Like I'd get pretty burnt out with others, but if I had something like, I don't know, like Skate or Guitar Hero or like Wii Sports or like something like that, I feel like I could get a pretty good amount of entertainment from those.
Real quick, I did see this at a local game store, like the DJ Hero, like the actual DJ set,
man, yeah,
and the PS3 game too. So that's pretty cool.
That's so funny. I forgot about that one.
Yeah. Do we have an outro?
Let's come up with it on the spot.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out. This was super fun, man. I'm so glad that we did this, and I'm already looking forward to the next episode that we're gonna do, and I just can't wait to see where this goes, man. But thank you everybody for watching. If you guys enjoyed it, leave a like. Let us know down below if you liked this, because this was just super fun, and I can't wait to make more content like this, man.
And also just kind of talking about the community real quick, like this is how we totally engage and break through to that old school YouTube kind of feel. Like this is exactly what and I'm pretty sure Strider has always wanted just out of YouTube in general.
Yep.
Like just talking and creating a space where we can talk about the things that we care about. And if you truly made it this far, then that's awesome. And we really appreciate you guys.
Yes, we do.
So yeah, we'll see you in the next one. I'm super excited as well for episode 2. And we'll see you in the next one.